7 or something until everybody will sit down?
Maybe. Might. I got 7 on the dot. About ready to get going. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple B'nai Israel, whether you're here in person or watching us on the live stream. It's great we could all be here tonight to celebrate Shabbat together, to engage in worship, connecting to God and to each other, and also to celebrate with Natalia. This is her bat mitzvah weekend. We're really excited for her and for her family. I know we have some family and friends here, so it's really exciting that we're all here together. We're going to begin on page 128. We have our student cantor, Iris Carlin, right here on the piano. And she's going to lead us in Hine Matov.
Yararai, yararai, hine matov. Yararai, yararai, hine naim. Yararai, yararai, hine matov. Yararai, yararai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Yaranai, yaranai, hine matov. Yaranai, yaranai, humanaim. Yaranai, yaranai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, to together with peace and love. Together with peace, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hinemato. Yananai, yananai, Hinemato. Yananai, yananai, umanai. Yananai, yananai, shevet achim. shevet achim גם יחד. הנה מה טוב.
Now let's turn and greet each other as we say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to turn to page 120 and 121, Kabbalat Panim. We welcome Shabbat with the lighting of candles and with Kiddush. And we invite Lauren Hipsley to come forward, please, to lead us. Let's all rise together.
These Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among those who kindle light.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and in their array on the seventh day God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all of the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam barei peri hagafen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה נחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
Very creepy today. Let's take our seats. We are on page 124 at the bottom of the page. We're going to read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. Welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We're going to turn now to page 138 and 139 for the singing of Lecha Dodi. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the final verse, we're going to rise and face the door to symbolically greet the Sabbath bride.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בשלום העטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
On page 146, we continue with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, as we remain standing. Simon didn't say.
La 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 la, 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 la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la.
Please be seated. We're on page 149 in the middle of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Together, this is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We're on page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Together, don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We invite Natalia Hipsley to come forward to lead us in the Shema. Let's all please rise together.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Kevod.
Please be seated. We're on page 154 as we continue with the Via Hafta.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ושרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי ואתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Very nice. You can take your seat. Yasha Koach. We're going to continue now on page 157 in the middle of the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Together, the high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many, our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. On the next page.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילתו אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע היום לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 lai.
We turn now to page 160 and 161 as we continue with the words of Hashkivenu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivaynu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivaynu, leshalom. Vehamidenu, shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. Ashkivaynu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivaynu, leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
And on page 162, we rejoice in the gift of Shabbat, Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 165, in an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter, In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer. Let's rise together for the Amidah HaTefilah. We're on page 164 through page 170.
Adonai, Sefatai tiftach. Adonai, Sefatai tiftach. Ufi hagid tehilatecha. Ufi hagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We're on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. On page 175. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha ba'ira na'avod. On page 177, let's read together at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. On page 178, a prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. שלום רב תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We now turn to page 371 as our thoughts turn to our loved ones, family, friends, members of our community who are in need of healing, whether they are suffering from a physical ailment, spiritual one, or in need of mental healing. We take them all into our hearts this time of prayer. In the middle of the page, let's join together, Misha Berach.
שבח אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema. Their renewal of body, their renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We are thinking of at this time Pat Adamson, Aiden John Ashley, Raymond Douglas Alcorn, Dr. Marty Bilo, Evan Bin, Rosemary Buckwalter, Frankie Clement, Ann Cole, Richard Corwin, Mark Edelstein, Mickey Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Eric Fisk, Z Fisk, Philip Gelman, Bob Gold and Carolyn Gold, Jennifer Gousset, Barbara Green and Buddy Green, Marvin Hollander, Stuart J., Robert Jaffe, Lori Cattleman, Doris Kirshner, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Hank Corin, Dr. Sonia Linke, Michael Lynch, Dolores Munzik, Ruth Poehler, Gloria Radeski, Lee Siegel and Stacy Siegel, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner, Fred Truax, and Norman Gross. Would anyone else like to mention the name of someone they're thinking of this time for healing? You can please mention their name.
מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema. Their renewal of body, their renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Let's now take a moment of silent prayer and reflection.
May the one who May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. 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 Descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. Oh, say Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי טבעי. אמן. אמן. ועל כל יושבי תבל. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So it's that time of year. We are smack dab in the holiday season. When I think of the holiday season, there are a few associations that come to mind. It's a nice excuse to eat delicious and unhealthy food. That's nice about the holidays. I can buy really any useless, unnecessary piece of junk I want for 50% off. That's good too. A lot of sales around this time of year. And of course, it's a time to gather with family. Nothing like a good old family reunion during the holiday season. It's fun, like if your family isn't living close to you, it's an opportunity to see folks you haven't seen for a while, and there's hugs and kisses and catching up, and that's all wonderful. Until Aunt Phyllis goes on for half an hour about her bunions. Until Cousin Dave wants to tell you all about his new keto diet. And until Grandma wants to talk politics. Then the family reunions are a little less fun. Family reunions can be fraught. And no one understands that more than Jacob, because this week it's time for Jacob to have his family reunion. We remember earlier on in the Jacob story, Jacob has some trouble with his brother. You might recall an incident of stealing his brother's blessing, and Esau is none too amused. And now time has passed, and the question is, does time heal all wounds, or is Jacob going to have to deal with a very angry brother? Is it going to be a rough family reunion? If you have, hopefully, your daf, your page of study, daf limud, Parshat Vayishlach, let's take a look into the Jacob story and see what he's coming up against. Genesis 32, Jacob sent messengers ahead to his brother Esau. There was no email at this time, so he had to do the old-fashioned way, send some messengers in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and instructed them as follows. Thus shall you say, to my lord Esau, thus says your servant Jacob. It's good to suck up right away, if you think there's going to be a problem. Oh, my lord Esau. Thus says your servant Jacob, I stayed with Laban and remained until now. I've acquired cattle, livestock, and servants. I've done well for myself. And I send this message to my Lord in the hope of gaining your favor. Things are going well. The messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau. He himself is coming to meet you, and his retinue numbers are 400. He's bringing some troops with him. Not exactly the message he wanted. No sweet potato pie, no football. It's going to be a problem, perhaps. Jacob was greatly frightened. In his anxiety, he divided the people with him, the flocks and the herds and the camels, into two camps, thinking, if Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, the other may yet escape. He's anticipating what? War. Bad news, right? No punch and pie. There could be a problem coming. Jacob is very worried. It says actually twice in that one verse, he was greatly frightened and he was anxious in his anxiety. So Jacob is not really loving this response. He's worried that there might be violence coming to his door. The rabbis take a look at this verse, the greatly frightened and the anxiety, and says, well, what's he so anxious about? Well, it's pretty straightforward. He was greatly frightened, first, of having to kill. He's anxious. He's afraid of being killed. So he says to himself, if he defeats me, he will kill me. And if I defeat him, I will kill him. So he is sensing a real problem here, that there's going to be a battle, a struggle, and he's very afraid. He's very fearful. And why is he fearful? We've mentioned it already, but on the bottom of that page, we don't have to go through the whole thing, Genesis 27, but it is the story. Esau harbored a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing, and basically says you can skim through that he's going to kill his brother, and it's going to be a while. That's why Jacob flees to Haran and hopes that his brother's fury will subside, and then he might forget what you've done to him. If we turn the next page. So Jacob here, before we get into the text, has a choice. He's already sort of planning, a plan A and a plan B. He's splitting up his camps. He's nervous. He's frightened. But what he could do, which he doesn't, is take everyone and just run. Go the other way as fast as he can. Because it's a frightening situation. He's very anxious. He's nervous. It could be a life or death struggle. Who knows what's on the other side, right? Who knows what's going to happen next? He doesn't. But now here we are. We're at the time of confrontation. Looking up, Jacob saw Esau coming with his retinue of 400. He divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maids, putting the maids and their children first, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. He then went on ahead and bowed low to the ground 7 times until he was near his brother. A little bowing, a little scraping at this moment. Esau ran to greet him, and what happens next? He embraced him, and falling upon his neck, he kissed him, and they wept. Ah, nice sigh of relief for Jacob. It doesn't get violent. In fact, his brother greets him warmly. Hug, hug, kiss, kiss. It's wonderful. It is, in fact, a really nice family reunion. All that fear, all that anxiety was misplaced. It turned out to be okay after all. The rabbis here give a commentary. And Esau ran to meet him and kissed him. The word kissed in the Hebrew, in the annotated, illuminated text, it has all these dots. It's a little hard to see. I could have printed it a little bigger, I guess. But all these dots on top of the word in Hebrew. And so they say, well, why? Why did they have all those dots there? Why did they point it this way in the Masoretic text? So Rabbi Shimon ben Eliezer says, that teaches us in that moment, He was so moved and kissed him with all his heart. That it wasn't just like, I haven't seen you in a long time, you know. This was something emotional, something almost even cathartic in a way. That they are now together, to being apart for so long, and all these emotions buried within them, they now get to come out. And it's not anger, it's love. What a lovely idea. All this love, it's very moving, it's very heartwarming. Siblings, we know in the Torah, don't always get along very well. And so this is a great moment, two brothers coming together with love in their hearts. This makes me think about the idea, the character, the mindset of fear. Fear is a very difficult emotion. It often prevents us from doing things that we want to do. We get nervous, we get anxious, and maybe we don't go for the things in life that we want to do. Maybe it prevents us from seeking that promotion, from pursuing a relationship, from engaging maybe differently with our loved ones. It could stop us in our tracks. Like, no one likes being afraid. Like, fear, it is emotional, but it's also physical. Our stomach hurts, we get sweaty, we get nervous, dry mouth, prickly skin. It's not a fun emotion to have. But Jacob shows us that we can be afraid, but still do what? Still move forward, still take the risk, take the chance, grab hold of the opportunity. And maybe it turns out well, maybe it turns out for the best. Jacob doesn't let fear stop him. Do we let fear stop us from doing what we want, from living the life that we want? It's a good question. And in these moments of fear, where do we turn? Well, the rabbis have some ideas on that too, not surprisingly. The rabbis have some ideas, but there's a great psalm, Psalm 27:1, that is attributed to King David. The eternal is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? The eternal is the stronghold of my life. Whom should I dread? The idea that it's okay to be anxious, it's okay to be afraid, but what's next? What can we do to help resolve that fear? One of the ideas the rabbis are going to say is prayer. We turn to God in these moments of fear. We pray, we connect, we seek God's help, God's guidance, and then maybe that helps us move forward, helps us face, help us confront our fears. Another idea comes from the Talmud. If there is worry in one's heart, let them bend it. And that's from the Proverbs. What does it mean to bend the fear? Maybe it's like a slingshot that gets, flown away. So Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi says one should force it out of their mind. Sometimes easier said than done. If you're feeling fearful, it's sort of sometimes hard to will the fear out of you, right? Sort of like an etch-a-sketch, just shake your head and get the fear out of there and help you move forward. It's a nice idea, a little tough. The next one is I like even better. Or it means one should tell their troubles to others. Because when we're afraid, it can be a very isolating feeling, very lonely, maybe even a little embarrassing, makes us feel vulnerable. But when we tell our fears to somebody else, when we're able to share our feelings, it makes us feel better, right? I think so. I think it makes us feel better when we share our fears, our burdens with others. And they can give us maybe some advice. Even just speaking it aloud, even just naming it, can make us feel less fearful. So I think there are ways when we are feeling afraid that Jewish tradition can teach us. We can pray, connect to God. We can try to will the fear out of us. We can talk and chat with others about it and find a way maybe to find a path forward. And speaking of paths, this last little text here, very famous one, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar me'od. V'hayikar lo lefached klal. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and the most important thing is not to fear at all. It's a beautiful thought because we know there's a lot in our world that can make us nervous, make us afraid. And I'm not sure if we're capable of never being afraid. I don't think that's realistic. But I think when I read Rabbi Nachman, I think it's not about necessarily not being afraid, but it's not letting fear stop you. It's about moving forward on that narrow bridge. Maybe don't look down, maybe don't look the other way, but find ways to keep moving forward, to keep walking, to not let fear paralyze us, stop us from being who we are, living our lives, from experiencing something new. When we're able to banish fear from our hearts and move forward, I think like Jacob in that encounter that he has with Esau, we'll find love, we'll find peace, we'll find shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Please turn with me together to page 643, the second song. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד.
On page 586, we rise together for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו
We're on page 597. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We are in the Shloshim period for the memory of Eric Adler, husband of Gloria, father of Josh, partner Connor, and grandfather of Stella, Maggie, and Cooper. We're also thinking of those who have passed away during this last year. Phyllis Kraus, Phyllis Allman, Sheila Buckwalter, Bob Mansfeld, Albert Gart, Barry Dabowski, Ann Blumenkrantz, Shirley Matler, Richard Clausen, Mary John Resch, Liesel Schick, Linda Laban Slavinsky, Jay Roth, Fran Brickman, John Conway, Michael Vereb, Janice Lederer, Bernice Lipman. And I think of those who died at this season in years past. William Edelman, Myron Aarons, Regina Alper, Ida Bakovich, Louis Balo, Sue Falk Birnbaum, Herbert Block, Riva M. Chorost, Saul Cohen, Annalise Derry, Hilliard Fershine, Harold Herman Gallet, Nathan Gross, Sarah Kalicka, Alice Carlin, Wolf Kempner, Mark Klein, Edward D. Kroll, Esther T. Lovitz, Phyllis Lovitz, Eugene M. Lynn, Abraham N. Malkin, Gussie Matz, Israel Namath, Isidore Newman, Samuel Newmark, Leonard Novak, Faye Pesner, Andrew Pollock, Henry Rosenblatt, Bert Rosenthal, Nathan M. Rothstein, Isidore Schwartz, Pauline Spurtis, Barbara Stein, Joe Stern, Agnes Radin Thomas, Henrietta Tischler, Lena Verbin, Fern Winnecker, and Francis Wolf. Is anyone else observing a yurt site saying Kaddish for any reason? Let's rise together on page 598, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yiskadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba bi'alma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala v'izman kari v'imru amen Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam l'olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudisha barichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shloma rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all of the world, as together we say, amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. It's now my pleasure to invite to come forward one of our temple co-presidents, Sandy Sunter, for a few announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom to everybody here in our sanctuary tonight. And hello to everybody, and Shabbat Shalom for everybody at home. Well, welcome to those of you who are new in our temple sanctuary, and you're here for Natalia. I'm excited for tomorrow. Talk about that. But thank you for being here. And thank you for streaming. I don't know who streamed tonight, either Heather or
Pete.
Huh? Pete. Thank you. Thank you, Pete. And Rabbi, thank you for a wonderful service. Love your stories today. And thank you, Iris. Welcome home.
Thank you. Good to be home.
Good to see you back. Oh my goodness, so nice to see you. Well, Natalia, I can say I am looking forward to tomorrow. So I'm lucky I get to come tomorrow too. Just walking into your room with your talent showing, you're part of who you are, I am really excited about tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to it. Well, let's see, what can I tell you? Don't forget, Rabbi still has his classes on Tuesdays. We have he has his Introduction to Judaism on 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 13th, and that continues. And then following that at 7:30, we continue going through the Bible with Rabbi. Again, this is offered in person and is on Zoom. So please, if you've not joined us for either of those, especially the Bible class, please join us. We have a really good time, and Rabbi gives a great thanks to people like Karen who make it really interesting. Now, I'm just kind of getting some brain waves. I'm kind of feeling a sense of something. Oh, I know what it is. All of you, I'm reading your minds, all of you are planning to come here next Saturday for our wonderful fundraiser and fundraiser. It's going to be a night of the mentalist. It's a magical feast for the senses. We have a gentleman by the name of Brett Berry who's coming to be our guest. He is a mind reader and a mentalist. And we're going to have wonderful hors d'oeuvres, libations, desserts, and there'll be an opportunity to bid on live auction items, on other auction items, and of course, Jason Alpert, our MC, will always make our evening lots of fun. So please, if you haven't signed up already, please do call, make your reservation, and come next week. We really are going to have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And if anybody would like to be a sponsor, we're still welcoming sponsors. And if anybody has anything they'd like to bring to us for our silent auction, please do that as well. On Friday, December the 23rd, we're going to have our special Hanukkah Shabbat. We'll be sharing Shabbatizers with our congregation, as well as a lovely oneg. Remember to bring your menorahs so we can continue our tradition of lighting them together at our Shabbat for Hanukkah. Don't forget to remember to read your e-blast so that you know what is going on and can keep up with all that we have coming up. And I want to share just something because my phone isn't doing it. I always like to share a few words. This one's called Generosity is of the Spirit. Once there was a rabbi who was gentle and understanding, and he tried to practice the golden rule of Rabbi Hillel. One day, a needy man came to him and asked that he lend him 10 rubles. 10 rubles. My wife is sick, and I have no money to pay for the doctor, he complained. Not having any cash with him, the rabbi gave him a silver candlestick. Now go and pawn this for 10 rubles, he told the man, then I'll redeem it later on. Sometimes later, after the rabbi went to redeem his candlestick from the pawnbroker, to his surprise, he found that it wasn't 10 rubles, but 25 that the man had drawn against it. Oh, that man is a swindler, Rabbi, the pawnbroker told him indignantly. The nerve of him. Not only doesn't he redeem your candlestick, but he borrowed money, more money than you permitted for him. Rabbi said, you're wrong. He said, this unfortunate man was very modest and considerate. Just think, he needed really 25 rubles, but he didn't have the heart to ask me for more than the 10. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Sandy. One additional thing I'll mention is that on Sunday, December 18th, we have our Noah Aronson concert sponsored by Federation. A lot of the music we had today was from Noah Aronson, who's one of the preeminent Jewish singer-songwriters that we have right now, and so it's going to be a fantastic thing. It's a big community event on the 18th at 2 p.m. Jackie, where is it going to be held? There are flyers outside for more information. Yeah. Ooh. It's going to be a really good time, as will our own Hanukkah celebration on December 23rd. We're going to have actually a Friday night live service. It's going to be a lot of music, a lot of fun, some other great surprises, and I hear some latkes as well. So it's going to be a really wonderful night. Shabbatizers are still on? Yes, I'm seeing some head nodding from WTBI and the rest. Excellent. And then we'll have a festive oneg afterwards. Wonderful. Let's now continue or conclude with Motzi. And so we'll have Natalia, you can come up with Mom as well for Motzi. And let's rise together.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Thank you, God. Our voices join in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Natalia, this is when you... Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody.